Hey everyone, welcome back to Magically Unstable. I'm Kurt.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Nicole.
And we are here to talk about Disney.
And our anxiety.
And that's why we're magically unstable.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's do that one more time.
Or we can just keep that whole thing.
Oh my God, that made me lightheaded. Oh my God.
I'm Kurt.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Nicole.
And we are here to talk about Disney.
And our anxiety.
And that's why we're
magically unstable.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's head right into our weekly touch base. Nicole, how was your week?
It's great. It's great. Normally we're recording on a Friday and it's a Wednesday, so my week is still in motion. Shit could hit the fan in 10 minutes. My week won't be over. So you know what? Right now it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna knock on some wood. It's okay.
Literal wood.
It's pretty much. It's
pretty
drywall.
sure that's drywall.
Oh no.
There. Yeah. Otherwise,
your neighbors call the cops.
You know what? My neighbors can fuck off. If you're hearing this, 310 and 110, I'm coming for you. Anyways, Nick, how's your week?
Jesus Christ. So same, like it's very weird recording on a Wednesday, but it's funny that I was so tired in the last podcast because I'm even more tired in this one. From Wednesday to Wednesday, between Foreverland, the Park Prodigy, and my other job, I've officially worked about 75 hours. And the funny thing about that, though, is last night, I don't remember last night. And apparently Michael was on his computer for a little bit and walked in the bedroom. And I was face down on the bed, half dressed. I had only gotten half of my pants up and I passed out. And my hand, I have a stacker engagement ring, and you clearly have an order for the stacker. And it was all fucked up. He was like, what happened to you?
Okay.
It doesn't surprise me.
I'm just imagining you underwear ass in the air.
Literally.
Shorts
so
half up your thighs.
It was so bad.
Oh my God.
I was like, how did I end up like this? And
Michael was probably okay.
I know.
Maybe let's not go to Twisty Treat.
Yeah.
It's 6
but
p.m.
no, yeah. I fell asleep great. I had a lovely night of sleep and I feel wonderful today. So I guess my week is pretty dandy. Kurt, what about you?
It's flying by, man. That's throwing me off that we're recording this on a Wednesday. But I am super kind of all over the place today, so I apologize if I seem all over the place. I was just stressing out about some cakes that I'm making for my leasing manager for her son's birthday, and I'm going to Disneyland on Friday. That's super exciting. So I can't wait to go and can't wait to celebrate my big 30th birthday at Disneyland.
Your excitement level started really high and then
I'm going to
Disneyland.
Went down.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. At least I get to celebrate my birthday this year in Disneyland, unlike last year when it was just hopeful dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a weird Zoom birthday party. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to go to Disneyland.
Yay. Pixie dust all over you.
Is that code name for crack?
I wish.
Coke?
Arsenic.
I'm not into hard drugs, so I don't know the difference.
I don't fucking know.
Oh, man. All right, let's head into our mouse keeping.
Oh, we are doing it.
I just fucking went with it. Sure.
So we don't know if this is going to stick, but we had talked earlier when the podcast started that we wanted to call this section mousekeeping, but we weren't sure if that was going to be a little I don't know what the term is, but you know how mousekeeping is Disney's housekeeping. So I don't know. Not that anyone would ever comment and tell us if they like it or not, but if anyone's listening and you like mousekeeping better than housekeeping, I don't know. We'll see if it sticks.
We'll take your one vote. Your one vote will be the deciding factor.
Literally.
Everything to us. Yes, means
Email
everything.
us at magicallyunstablepod@gmail.
Yeah. So, mousekeeping. Hello, everyone. Welcome if you're new. I'm so sorry. If you're not new, welcome back. Mouse/housekeeping is where we talk about all things that are new at Disney. And let's go ahead and have Nicole start first with the Walt Disney World Company.
You know, I looked at Company and there's just nothing exciting happening that I could really find. So I knew where you were going, so I'm not spoiling yours. But with Walt Disney World. But at Disney World, in the next month, they're going to be eliminating the open air trash cans.
Oh,
I saw that and I was like, what a strange detail to put in the news.
What's so upsetting?
Nice.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, really, how much of an inconvenience was that for Disney to keep those propped open? Why do we have to change that?
I can see for
I know,
affecting
I kind of liked it propped open.
Oh, I like them too propped open, but I can see for affecting with, I don't know, fucking bees in the trash can or something like that.
I don't care.
Same. That's my only logical reasoning behind it, but I did read the article a little bit and it was to give it more of the Disney scene. Disney scene is not open air trash cans. It is closed, swinging. They're supposed to look nice, even though they're literally trash cans. So that is my
That's
news.
So annoying.
Yeah.
I hate that. I mean, I read that and I forgot that I read it, and you reminded me of how irritated I was about it because we all have had that day where we've gone to throw something out and little fucking Timmy Two Shoes went to go throw their sundae away and smeared it all over the fucking trash can. Ugh.
Yeah, I like the open trash cans. I also didn't I haven't noticed a smell of garbage at all walking past them. But you know what? Maybe it's because they have to employ people to empty the trash more often and it's just time consuming.
Wait.
Right.
I mean, I agree. I'm just trying to think of what
why,
their decision making.
Well, yeah. Interesting. Great.
Nick, what do you? We'll just piggyback right on this Disney World thing.
Yeah,
Go
it makes
ahead.
sense.
Spill your
it makes
beans.
sense because mine is also on the same wavelength. So Walt Disney World is annoying me again and is following in suit with Universal Orlando with getting rid of 6 feet social distancing. So it is going to be 3 feet social distancing, where if you think about that distance, it's probably the same exact distance that people just stay away from you normally. So I definitely feel 3 feet means no feet, and there's going to be pretty much zero social distancing happening. And that is being implemented. Give me 1 second. I don't remember the date, if it even had a date.
I haven't seen a date. I just saw that they said that it was going to be a phased process.
Okay, so yeah, I guess there isn't an exact date, but like Kurt had mentioned, it's going to be phased, kind of like how temperature checks, when they announced that, it wasn't immediate like it was in Universal Orlando. They're planning mid-May for those to be done. So I'm wondering if they're going to be slowly just changing out those 6 feet signs and adding in the 3 foot signs. So that will also be coming before the summertime.
Yeah, and I also heard that they're getting rid of it basically altogether outside, any outdoor social distancing markers in the queues or for the parades or the ferry boat, those are just going to be gone completely.
I hate it so much. I hate it so much.
I mean, but you know what? We all vaxxed, so not
That's
really
kind
our
of where
problem.
I'm as long as we don't get rid of the mask, we were all talking about this, the mask mandate, as long as that stays implemented.
Yeah.
I'm okay
and then,
with
you know
it.
what? I'm going to still wear my mask even after it's not a mandate.
Right. No, my thing, it's not even with COVID because like you said, it's not our problem at this point, but it's just even though nobody really respected the social distancing markers, there would be people who would look down and like remind themselves and maybe give you like 1 or 2 minutes in the queue without them like up your asshole. So I hate people. I literally cannot stand when people are in my fucking physical distance fucking space. And this kind of like reminded people a little bit like, hey, watch out. And now it's just, now that they're gone, you know, those extra people are going to be the ones who are going to be like, whoop, distance markers are gone. I'm going to stand right behind this person and think it's funny. Like,
right.
Yeah, at least like, easy. I feel like it at least eliminates the frustration of people not adhering to the markers. Like if the markers aren't there, hopefully, I mean, we'll see in June/July. But I think that if the markers aren't there, it will hopefully eliminate that frustration for me of people not adhering to it and like just being up my ass in line. So we'll see. We will see. So yeah, one more step toward non-pandemic Disney. So what is happening on the West Coast, Curtis? Well, let's rewind the timeline a year, and Disneyland is finally opening another restaurant that has been closed since it reopened. It's just so weird, like going from coast to coast between the two parks, how like at random stages they're in their reopening. It's just really weird to adjust to. But I mean, I guess first world problems on that, but it's just very strange. Mm-hmm. It's just a very strange thing to witness. Like coming back from Orlando and like everything is open and everybody like it's very relaxed and lenient, and then coming back here and it's still only at 25% capacity, which by the way, I just want to say, if you are listening and you're going to Disneyland, know that it's at 25% capacity. That still means like 21,000 people. That's still a lot of people. Don't expect there to be nobody or get pissed when there's lines. Like there's still going to be a lot of people there. Anyways, I've just been very irritated on what I've been seeing on social media. That's not my housekeeping. My housekeeping is what I mentioned, that they're going to be opening up the Blue Bayou, Yay! Which I'm really excited about. One of my favorite restaurants at Disneyland. If you haven't been there, the Blue Bayou is in New Orleans Square, and it is part of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. That's so cool. So as you kind of go through the ride, like the very, very beginning of the ride, you go through a Louisiana bayou, and off to the right-hand side when you're in the boats is the restaurant. It's like on the back patio of this mansion. It's really, really cool. But yeah, it's one of my favorite restaurants. I really, really enjoy that place because just the ambiance is very immersive. So yeah, it's finally opening. It's going to be open on I think May 27th to 28th. And the reservations open up on the 18th. So yeah, hopefully I'll get a reservation for when I go in June. But also exciting, I guess, for some people, the Blue Bayou is going to reopen with an alcohol menu for the first time ever. I also saw that their like menu changed a little bit. I saw the vegan and vegetarian option was different. Yeah, they updated their menu. They added alcohol. They had people from Club 33 like curate the wine that was going to be served. It's really, really cool. One of Peter's patients was forced to retire from the pandemic because she was going to retire in a couple years anyways. But she was the food manager at Club 33. Ooh. And she designed the entire menu for the Blue Bayou, the new menu. She curated all the wines. She like hand selected all the alcoholic drinks that are going to be on the menu. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm really excited about that. Nice. Very cool. Yeah. Very exciting. Yeah. Alrighty, let's head into our weekly video. But first, let's take a little break and we will come back. All right, everyone, now that we're stopped, let's take a minute to shout out to our socials. Since you've made it this far, maybe subscribe to our podcast. You can subscribe wherever you're listening, like Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or whatever you're listening on right now. You can also follow us over on Instagram and TikTok at Foreverland Fairy Tales. And most importantly, if you want more Disney content, or if you want to listen to our podcast on YouTube, make sure you find us there. We're at Foreverland Fairy Tales, and just remember to subscribe. All right, let's get back to the episode. Alrighty, welcome back.
We're back.
I hope you enjoyed our little break, and I hope you subscribe to us on all of those social media platforms. But let's head into our episode this week, which is our review of the Roarin' S'more treat at
the Roarin' Fork.
Roarin' Fork. The first thing that comes to my head is Raging Boner, because that's what we kept calling it when we were at the wilderness. So I had to stop myself and go, Kurt, it's not called the Raging Boner.
Roarin'. I was just called it the Roaring Boner.
See? Roarin' Fork. Which is the quick service at the Wilderness Lodge, which, before we get into the video, I just want to say it is probably the best, if not the best, quick service restaurant that I have ever been to on Disney property. Like theme park, resort, Disney Springs, doesn't matter what it is. All of Orlando's quick service, this is the best quick service I have ever had. It's so good. It's so fresh. I had the Mickey waffles and chicken. The greatest Mickey waffle I've ever eaten in my life was had at this restaurant. The chicken was hot and fresh. You could tell that they had just made it as well as the Mickey waffles. And they came with this delicious, like, pecan, honey butter, maple, some shit. And it was just really good. It was really good. So I highly recommend that if you want to take a boat from the Magic Kingdom over to the Wilderness and pop over there for lunch or brunch or something. I don't know. It's real good. Check it out.
It never disappoints you guys. Michael, it is our favorite place to go on. It's not really technically the monorail line because you cannot take the monorail there. But it literally is way better than any other place in the surrounding area. So go check it out.
Yeah, it's great. It's the shit. All right, so let's dive into the dessert. Nick, do you want to tell everybody what it's made of?
Okay, so this dessert was shockingly pretty freaking good, but it was... My brain just shut off. But the Roarin' S'more was a chocolate mousse. So it was composed really nicely. The chocolate mousse was... I guess technically the top layer, but then underneath there was a graham cracker cake, and then there was a caramel marshmallow. And I believe wasn't it the cake, the mousse, wasn't there like one caramel marshmallow and then a toasted marshmallow on top? Remember that smaller marshmallow that was on top?
Yeah, I think that was on top of the mousse. I think it was cake, marshmallow, mousse, and then the little marshmallow.
Yes, and then there was a little like white chocolate Mickey disc on top. It was
and the marshmallow was covered in glitter.
You know what I forgot about? That like Ferrero Rocher thing on the inside.
Oh my god, that's right. Yes.
This random. It's not in the description, but it's like a caramel, crispy, chocolatey ball in the middle. And it was definitely not a Ferrero Rocher, however the fuck you say that. It was definitely like a caramelly, it was sweeter. It was much sweeter. And
But it had like the same like crispy shell.
Yeah.
It was very good.
It was very good. This dessert was very enjoyable.
Nice little surprise.
Yeah, so Kurt and I we were doing a lot of shit in the wilderness other than just eating the Roaring S'more. And this dessert really is like the perfect treat to go find a nice little spot on the wilderness. I wish we had an anxiety video about resorts because the wilderness would absolutely be on there with all of the little, if you guys didn't know, there's like hidden parts in the halls, like literally right in the hallways of the resort with like fireplaces and really nice chairs.
There's like little levels.
Yeah.
Like on each floor, there's like this spot where you can just hang out and sit and make a snack review video.
Yeah.
Nobody walked by us the entire time.
Except
it was really
that
nice.
one lady, remember? She like walked by and smiled at us, and it was just really awkward. Because Kurt and
I mean, we're awkward anyways,
Yes.
but we were also eating and filming, which makes us even more awkward. And then these people just slowly walked by us and like had that weird smile.
But we were also sitting in front of a giant painting of like Running Bull or something. And it was like, that was staring at us. It was a Native American chief. I'm not sure which Native American chief it was.
I don't remember. We looked at it, but he also had bedroom eyes.
He was giving us bedroom eyes. It was just a very strange experience.
If you go have this, or if you go to the wilderness, go to like the top floor, like the giant window on like the front side of the lobby, and you'll see the Native American chief with the bedroom eyes staring at you while you sit and eat a roaring s'more.
Say
it's
hi for
a great
us.
time.
We miss him. We had a great time.
The treat itself, like Nick said, was like the perfect culmination of ingredients, and we were both a little worried if it was going to be too sweet, and like kind of like tooth rotting sweet, and surprisingly it wasn't. Specifically the marshmallow, it was a little hard to cut into and eat in that sense. It was really sticky.
Yeah, it almost seemed like they may have technically done something wrong, because it was much too it wasn't rubbery yet. It was right between like soft fluffy marshmallow and rubber, like right there.
Like it was hard to cut with a knife.
So interesting.
But I'm sure if it's like because they were headed in the fridge because of the mousse, like maybe that's why.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know, but it was a little tough to cut into and eat. But besides that, it was very, very delicious. It was not as sweet as we thought it was going to be. The graham cracker cake is what I feel should have been the sea turtle cupcake from last week's episode. Like that was a true graham cracker cake.
It was. It wasn't even like almost cake texture. It was like crumbly almost, and
it was like carrot cakey almost.
That's right. It was just like
sans
carrot. Yes. It was really delicious though, like really homey and rustic. It was good.
Yeah, it was very good. I loved the personal touch of the edible glitter surrounding
my gosh,
homemade marshmallow.
I forgot about that. It was so pretty.
Yeah, that was nice.
Good stuff.
The little white chocolate Mickey on top was just smacked up there like a little white chocolate Mickey. I would say the star of the show, though, was that toasted marshmallow on top.
I didn't get any of that.
Yummy.
I didn't get litterally any of that.
No, I'm sorry. I just shoved that in my mouth because it was really small, but it was also attached to the piece that I was eating. And I was not about to try to cut that up, but it was very good. It was a legitimate, like, toasted over a campfire tasting marshmallow. I'm sure they actually didn't. They probably just torched it. But it was really, really good. I think this was only, I want to say about $6. Clearly, I told you I'm stressing out about some cakes that I have right now, so I did not check the price. But I want to say it was like $5. I was going to say $5.73.
Good job. So close.
Nice. All right. Yeah, that was about it. We kind of went into a lot of detail of the mousse itself and how like delicious and chocolatey and creamy it was. It almost had that same milkiness of like hot chocolate,
Kurt,
which is really, really nice.
Now that I'm looking at it, we described it as like 4 different components, right? Because it was the cake, the regular marshmallow, like the caramel marshmallow, the mousse on top of that, and then the toasted marshmallow. We described it like that, right? For some reason in my brain, I thought we said the chocolate mousse and the marshmallow were the same thing. Okay, I'm glad we got that. I'm glad I got that figured out. I'm looking at a picture of it again, and it just seriously looks so freaking delicious.
So make sure you head over to our YouTube channel and get like the full in-depth review of this treat. I'm assuming it's going to stick around for the summer. It's a very summery treat.
It is.
They had debuted it, I think we reviewed it the day after it came out.
Yeah. Yep. It was the day before. Michael actually had said something, I think, or we were chatting and he was like, oh, look at this new dessert. I like s'mores. And Kurt and I were like, we're going to go eat it.
Yeah. Literally. I also thought it was ice cream from the photo that somebody put up on Instagram. Yeah. I thought it was an ice cream thing. But nope, joke's on me. It was mousse. So yeah, make sure you head over to our YouTube channel, Foreverland Fairy Tales, to check out the full review on that. There's not much else really to say for the podcast, so I will just hype up the wilderness one more time and make sure that everybody really knows how much we love it. Like all of those little spots, the Raging Boner restaurant is really
so
good.
So it goes so hard.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. And if you haven't been there, but if you are in California or like a Disneyland person over Walt Disney World, it is very similar to the Grand Californian in the sense of like a cabin, woodsy kind of Art Deco-y resort. But it's a lot more like the wilderness itself is more indigenous
yeah,
themed.
It's not really appropriate. Like
No, it's not.
Definitely.
It would be appropriate if, for me, I think it would be appropriate if they changed the music from like cowboy western music to more like Native American music and just indigenous music, because everything that you see in that resort is from indigenous culture.
Right.
Like there's totem poles. There are pictures of indigenous people all over the walls. It's very like, I want to say Wild West, but it's not Wild West. It's like very like on the frontier. We are going to go to the hotel. What the fuck? So yeah, I think it's very culturally insensitive in that regard because they play like the yippee-ki-yay Western music.
They had to sprinkle the colonization in there somewhere. Disney has to everywhere.
Like they had like the full like Native American like headdress, like glass case in the lobby. Like it's full out indigenous themed, but they have like the what the fuck is the ride? Big Thunder Mountain Railroad music is like playing throughout the hotel.
Do you really think DVC members, though, because that's mainly who stays at the wilderness, could handle actually listening to like indigenous tribal music?
No, they would say to turn that racket off.
Exactly. So, I mean, not great on Disney's part, but...
Yeah. But besides that, I mean, if you don't notice that or if that's not like a huge thing that really sticks out to you, it's a beautiful hotel. Highly recommend going. Somebody told me that the other restaurant there, what is the other restaurant called?
There is Whispering Canyon and
Whispering Canyon.
There's also the Snow White restaurant at Artist Point. Storybook Dining. It's my favorite dining experience ever.
Yeah, somebody reached out to me. Somebody told me that the Whispering Canyon was really, really good, and that the servers there have like kind of like a sassy attitude, and it's just like a fun environment restaurant. But the food is very, very delicious, they said.
Nice. Also, during Christmas time, the Wilderness Lodge is the best resort ever.
I could see that.
It's so beautiful. The Christmas tree is gorgeous, and like you can literally, because it's not very busy, like all the time in December at the resorts, but like going and sitting in front of the fireplace and looking at the Christmas tree is just like, it's goat, man. So good. Love that resort.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Go check out the Wilderness. It's very underrated in my opinion.
Yeah, but also like, help us get money to stay there once, because I would love to stay in that resort one time. I
want to stay in those like weird cabin things.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
And be like the white person who waves to everybody on the boats.
How's it going, guys?
Oh, man. Alrighty. So let's head into our therapy session next.
But first...
Oh, wait. We got to take a break.
We have to take another one.
Another one.
Another one.
Okay.
Another one. And another one.
Oh my God, what's happening? Okay, let's take a break.
Another one.
Let's collect ourselves and then come back with Nicole's therapy session.
Another one.
Another one.
All right, welcome back. Let's head right into Nicole's therapy session. Nicole, take it away.
Another one.
I love it's become my favorite thing to start when you're in the middle of something to catch you off guard.
I just expected at this point. Okay. Let's get into going to the parks with not the shittiest people, well, kind of the shittiest people, but the people who have just the I'm gonna ruin your day attitudes.
Let's.
I was chatting a little bit earlier with Nick and Kurt because I'm not in the parks as often, and I was like, I don't really have anything. And Nick was like, yeah, you do. And brought up a bunch of instances where I would travel solo with another, well, I guess it wasn't solo, but it was just me and another person. Would do a lot of traveling. And this person, literally the worst person to travel with.
AKA fourth excommunicated group member.
Which I highly doubt.
The one who dislikes all of our YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Literally.
Pretty sure. We're pretty sure we cracked your code, my dude.
Yeah, if you look through our YouTube videos, a lot of them have a 1 thumbs down, and we're pretty sure it's
many
him.
viewers. Like, what are the odds? Again, with the shitty fucking attitude. Anyways. No. So I am not going to talk about how to cope with this because we've talked about how to cope with this and it's not my coping session. So I just get to bitch about this. Okay.
For sure.
Here are just a couple of instances I want to lay on the table. Oh, I'm like, my blood is like right now. Right now. I have a whole fucking note. I have a note. And it says, I'm not going to say Nicole's who, but it says, fourth ex. I can't hear a word you're saying. I'm talking so loud right into my fucking...
You're fine. It's not important.
Let's start with...
But yes.
When this person... Not even when this person. We'll leave this person out of it. But for the story, you guys know exactly. You can imagine it. So, what really irks me is being ignored. What really... In this instance... Every fucking trip that I would take, like a 4-day, a nice, 4-day long extended weekend, I was making pennies. So, I didn't have this, money to travel, but said person would just, buy my flight and be like, pay me back, and then would harass me about it. Anyways.
Did you ever pay him back?
Yeah, because I felt bad. Shouldn't have.
Oh, damn. Shouldn't have.
Got that bread and left. No head.
No head.
No head. No. And then one minor thing would spoil this motherfucking person's day. And he had to make sure that everybody else's day was fucking spoiled as well. Okay, so when I first started going to Disney with this person, okay, it is going to be all about this person. It's fine. Whatever. It's a juicy tea therapy. Okay. No. So when I would go, for instance, this is a lot of rambling. My brain is on fire right now. Nick, do you remember? Kurt, shut up.
I just imagine the fucking SpongeBob episode where they're running around in his brain and everything's on fire and they're trying to find the one file.
That's what's happening right now because it's holy shit, you actually get to bitch about this. So everybody's scrambling. No, Nick, do you remember when this person was texting us and I was with them in the parks and it was our last day? No. It was our last day and this person was like, we're going to come back here in August because I want to do the Keys to the Kingdom tour. This is very specific because this is such ingrained trauma in my brain. I can remember looking at my phone and then looking at his face and being like, well, a great trip gone to shit. Because we were like, no, cut that out. We were like, we don't think we're going to go in August because we're not.
It was literally a month later. It was we had gone in July and he was like, oh, 3 weeks later, we're going to go on another trip, right?
But we pay for the fucking expensive.
Why did it have to be August?
His birthday.
And he wanted to do the Keys to the Kingdom tour and make us spend all of this fucking dough that we don't have, and he did, and just, expected us to drop everything and, fly back out here with him when I was like, And then when we said that to him, he literally walked like 6 feet in front of me. He abided by the 6-foot rule before the pandemic even existed. No, and he would literally like trail me in the dust and like just take off. It literally happened at Magic Kingdom until we got on the fucking airplane, and then he felt bad because no, he didn't feel bad. He just wanted to like talk to me then. So he bought me McDonald's fries and thought it was an apology. Well had. No, my good sir. I did get fries out of it though. So
I just like literally thought of Mufasa after he yells at Simba and Simba's like 20 feet behind him. Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like yes. That
but
setup.
It wasn't like in the sense of like, it wasn't my choice to trail behind him. I'm like trying to yeah, because he shuffles his fucking stupid legs so fast just to escape, and he would run to the next fast pass, but he wouldn't tell me what the fast pass was. It was such a disaster. So like spending all the money that Disney has to offer, and going with somebody who treats you like that. Like, yeah, I could have walked away, but, like, he was my rental car ride to the airport, and he had my luggage in the back of the car. I think we were sharing luggage at that point. It was awful. Can we get into how childish said person was to shut me in the bed at Pop Century?
I was praying for this moment.
Already, I feel like if you're around someone whose apology is to give you something rather than apologize.
It wasn't even give me something, Kurt. It was buy me something.
Didn't he give you fries?
He bought them for me.
Kurt, you're right on the head with this person with that. This person didn't know how to apologize. It was gift buying.
Still doesn't. Yeah. Thumbs down the video now, sir.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, into it. My body is shaking right now.
No,
I
was really excited. Because, like, there have been a lot of funny instances, and I was really hoping Nicole was going to get into it because literally, like, my whole existence in this, like, 3-year stint was just being on the sidelines laughing at it and, like, trying not to get flamed by both of them throughout the day. So I needed this. Like, I really needed this.
So I knew how to really push dudes' buttons too. Like I
said his name.
I knew every chord to strike. But after that fucking treatment, you fucking best bet I took the sheets from
There it is.
I took the sheets from him one too many times.
Okay, if you didn't catch it though.
What?
4 grown-ass adults were staying in Pop Century, which, like, Pop Century, this room was requested. It had to be the renovated room.
By guess fucking who?
Okay, but honestly, same. Like, I have only stayed at Pop Century after they renovated the rooms.
Which I think this was during the renovation.
Yes, so, like, it was. But there was not a lot of space for 4 grown adults in this room, and I would just like to point that out. That it was already claustrophobic and tensions were running very high in this room.
Yeah, and I just kept saying, I'm going to take it one step further because he's pissing me off. So it was a little bit of a mutual thing, but he didn't have to take it as far as he took it because mine was just innocence. So he was laying in bed, and he's somebody who gets very grumpy when he doesn't get his 8 hours of sleep, right? So he's like on the side, like sleeping, like on his side, on his phone. He has the fucking comforter. It's the trauma, man. I'm literally watching it play out in my head right now. And I'm laying on the other side of the bed, and I'm stronger and bigger than him, and I just yoink the sheets right from him. He gets so mad. And he's like, you just need to stop. And he pulls the sheets back, like, just sweating. Just enough to... So glad this is happening.
I'm pretty sure you're nervous laughing right now.
I think it's more excitement because I've been waiting for, like, I want him to listen to this and be like, I hate her so much. No, so I think I did it like 4 or 5 times, and it was like bedtime, right? It was like we were all like curling in to go to bed.
The lights were off. The lights
were not off yet.
They were off on our side.
Fair.
So it's like bedtime.
Yes.
It's like lights out. We're all going to sleep. Like we need to get up early to go to the park.
Dude and I were on the pull down bed because in the new renovated rooms, they have a bed that literally pulls down from the wall. And I pulled the sheets from him one too many times, and this motherfucker gets out of bed. And I was like, finally, he's going to sleep on the floor. Shuts me in the fucking wall. I'm sorry.
Like, if he just, like, locked her up in there and we laughed about it, it would be fine. But it was a whole ordeal. And, like, they were slamming against the adjoining wall. And, like, the bed was slamming down and hitting the ground. And literally, Michael was going to have a fucking panic attack. Because, like, yes, it is loud in Disney. And, like, there are kids running up and down the halls. But, like, when someone is slamming a bed into the wall, like... Not the horizontal way, the vertical way. Like, that's a problem.
I didn't think you would take it that far. I didn't even think that was a possibility until I was literally in the wall. I was like, there's no fucking way. Because that fucking kept up for like 10 minutes. 10 minutes until I think Nick said something to him and he finally like went back to bed. Didn't touch his fucking sheets for the rest of the fucking time.
Thank God.
But yeah, it's just a matter of like, if you don't adhere to a flight of passage, fast pass, whatever, it fucking pops up. Even if you're in a whole different park, he loses his goddamn mind. It's like this has turned into a roast. Is this appropriate?
I mean, it is involving...
It's your therapy session, man.
And it's involving Disney. If it was just a straight up roast and these didn't occur in Disney, maybe it would be strange.
Heard.
Okay.
I know that we also mentioned... Sorry. No, go ahead. I'm going to derail a little bit.
No, I was just going to say, like, it is a little sad, like, re-listening to these stories because some of that, like, you think about like the fun we all had and then you also think about like the extremely manipulative like toxicity that also came from it. But it just made me think of the funny things of like, I was praying you were going to tell this super quick story of you guys in the Airbnb with
God.
I need this story to be told like now.
Yes, this is not like a manipulative thing. This was actually just like a funny thing that happened with this person. Let me get into the last thing that pissed me off on this whole manipulative ride, and then I will tell the Hitler story.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So as mentioned in previous...
There's a cliffhanger for you.
Right. So keep listening. You'll hear about Hitler. So this is also the person that I went to Rise of the Resistance at 4 a.m. with. Okay. He made me roll my fat ass right out of bed. And we got in his rental minivan. The fucking doors on that thing, man. Him and his stupid fucking electric doors. We weren't allowed to open them until he pushed it on the keys. Anyway, that is so irrelevant. So it just pissed me off. And so I just kept saying, I'm fucking tired. Like, I'm tired. It's 4 a.m. I'm sitting here. It's like 35 degrees. It's fucking Florida. It's supposed to be in the 80s. It's 35 degrees. I'm wearing a Spirit jersey. I'm pretty sure I have a fucking blanket wrapped around me that I was like, I'm not leaving the hotel room without it. I think this is not the trip that we were staying behind the Walmart with the barbed wire. I don't think that was the trip. But this motherfucker looked at me and said, take an Uber if you're so tired, back to the hotel room. I was like, you will not control where I give me the fucking keys. Anyways, I heated.
Nicole I was awake for some reason at like 5 a.m. It's because I was working at the farm, I think. Well, the other farm, the better farm, not this farm that I'm working at. The other farm that I worked at where my shift started at like 7. And I was up at like 5 and Nicole was like rage texting.
I was fucking livid. I was like, you, of all people, will not tell me to take an Uber.
You should have taken an Uber back to the hotel and locked him out.
You know, I should have, but I was already there, and I was like, I don't think I had like money to pay for an Uber, so I was like, no. But yeah, we'll end with the Hitler story. We can end this therapy session with the Hitler story. It's very lighthearted and funny. So we are manically booking an Airbnb because we decided that we were going to take Nick to Disney in 2018, which him and I had never been before. So we were just like flying by the seat of our pants planning this. And we were like, we're going to stay in an Airbnb because we're not staying on resort. Like, I don't see any benefit to it. So we like have this Airbnb booked, right? And we get a message from this dude like a month later, the host that we were supposed to be renting from or like staying in his Airbnb. And
a month after you stayed there?
No, before. So he is like telling us that we can no longer stay there. Let me brief pause because I definitely have the screenshot of that. Yeah, I don't think I have it anymore. It's probably like deep in some other message. It's fine. I'll summarize it. So we're staying and this dude sends a message, X4th group member, a message. And he was like, hey, I'm sorry, I have to refund you your money. You can no longer stay with me because I'm under review because some lady complained that I wasn't accommodating or like, what's the word? Like nice to her about staying there. And he was like, I think like going into this whole spiel about how he thinks that he is just like the nicest host and like the most accommodating. And he's just like going on and on. At the end of this message, man goes, if I was a Jew, I would even let Adolf Hitler stay in my Airbnb. I'm not even fucking shitting you. He said, if I'm a Jew, I would let Hitler stay. And I was like, did this man just type this to you? So I think he was trying to get us to give him like a decent review, but in the end we did not stay with him because he got some complaint from some lady and they like took all of his listings down and yeah. So that's my end of rant, end of
Wonder
therapy.
What happened to him.
I mean, you know, as you were venting in your therapy session, I feel like there's a lot of untangled trauma. Because as you were kept telling a story, you would think of other things that were traumatizing. So I feel like we should just revisit this one day.
We definitely should.
Oh, like go back into it and undig some more.
Okay. Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of like a treasure hunt for me.
Series.
An archaeological dig. Archaeological dig.
I can literally just scroll through a photo time period in my phone that is a Disney trip.
Just find some of that fossilized trauma.
Absolutely. I'll make a list
Dig
and
that
that'll be my next therapy sessions from here on out is just every Disney trip trauma. Disney trip trauma. Trademarked.
Nice. There we go. TM. Alrighty, let's head into our coping session. What do you got for us this week, Nick?
All right. So, hey guys, coping with Nick. Don't know how much you should listen to me because I have injured myself way too many times at Disney. And that's why I want to talk about this because how to cope with injuring yourself while you are in Disney. I am a pro at this. pretty much have injured myself almost every single trip, except these last couple of ones. So thanks for keeping me safe, Kurt.
No problem.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Inevitably, if you go to Disney a lot, or if you have a large family when you're going to Disney, someone's probably going to get hurt or get sick while you are on your vacation. And lucky for you, Disney has that all figured out. So if you're worried about that at all, don't. Disney doesn't actually have its own hospital like on site, but the first aid that they offer is pretty extensive. I do believe there are EMTs like within a very, very quick call. No, there has to be. One time I was at Magic Kingdom in Main Street Bakery getting Starbucks, and like 4 paramedics just like walked in and like got their morning coffee. So I do think they do have paramedics staffed on site at Disney. But there is also a hospital only 10 minutes away, and it's like technically the Disney hospital, but like not technically the Disney hospital.
Oh, that giant one in Celebration?
Yes, the Celebration one. And then there is
the one that I passed, and I literally was like, this looks like Disney corporate
literally
office.
And I was like, oh, it's a hospital.
Like, it looks the exact same.
Yes, that one. And then there are also some urgent care locations in Disney Springs. So the biggest thing that I thought that was amazing was that, okay, first of all, it's kind of fucked up as well. But if you are on Disney property and you get hurt, you do not have to worry about the cost of the ambulance. So there is no fee if you need an ambulance ride from Disney to the hospital. Mind you, once you step foot through that hospital door, your bill starts right there. But we all know that I know I've told my friends, literally, unless like I am on my last grasping breath, throw me in the back of your car, because nobody can afford $500 taxi drive to the hospital.
For real.
So that was really cool. I heard that. I work with a laid off cast member right now, and she let me know that really fun little tip. There are also nurses on staff at Disney. They're staff Disney nurses. So everyone knows that nurses are amazing and like literally can help treat and I don't know if they're allowed to technically like diagnose, but they can treat so many things and definitely help you out if you have most minor injuries at the park. That also includes like heat exhaustion, sunburn, like severe sunburn. They have these like first aid centers that you can go to. There's also like baby centers to where if your kid's having issues, like you can take them to the center, and that's usually where the nurses are at, or there's at least staff that like can help you if your child is having an issue. The other thing is that there is a lot of telehealth down here, and Disney is a big advocate of using it if you're going to be staying on like site there and you're worried about anything. Obviously, if it's an emergency, you need to get yourself to the hospital. But if you just have like a general concern or like I was literally just at Walgreens the other day, and a man came up and he had said that his wife had forgotten her prescription, and the telehealth doctor had helped them get a prescription down here at this Walgreens so she could get her like life-saving medication or whatever. So that's another thing that is also like you will have access to with the Advent Health hospitals. But there's just also a lot of other nuances that my therapy session next week is actually going to be all of my injuries that have occurred on Walt Disney World property, which have been ridiculous. But also know if you're staying on or off site, Kissimmee has a lot of like Walgreens, CVS's, all of that good stuff for your basic needs. So if it's nothing that like if your kid is just having like an allergic reaction and you need some Benadryl, I even believe you could probably get it Amazon fresh ordered to your resort if you don't want to leave. But Kissimmee is like a 15-minute drive outside of Disney. You can go to a store yourself. There is Amazon, and there's also this other thing that this Facebook group. It's called Ears for Each Other. Like get it ear, like not here for each other, but ears for each other. And it's a whole bunch of laid off cast members that are like offering to do resort services. So if you're a part of Facebook, you can join that and be like, hey, I need Benadryl, I need steroid cream, I need antibiotic cream. And you aren't able to get that in the Disney first aid kits that are also available at resorts. You can always reach out to Ears for Each Other or have it delivered or just go out yourself. So while it may feel like it's a vacation away from home, Disney has really made it, like, I guess, a safe environment to know that, like, if you do hurt yourself, like, granted, I meant to mention this earlier. Another reason of why there's like EMTs and everything on site is Disney is big on like the whole you didn't see anything. So like if someone passes out, like they don't treat anyone on property. They literally will like whisk your body away and get you off stage as fast as they possibly can. So there's no like, you know, big old social media outbreak or people gawking. But with
or
that
like for your own privacy, you know, they just
right. Yes.
yeet you out of there.
Yes. But for that reason or other reasons, that means like immediate health care is there very quickly. So obviously always worry a little bit if you're away from home, but just know Disney is probably one of the safer places if you're going to hurt yourself or if it like an emergency is to happen, that, you know, they've got these services. And that's all.
Nice. I don't have anything to add on how to cope with that because don't think I've ever hurt myself at a theme park.
Lucky
Same.
duck. Almost every time.
I will say I hurt myself. Well, I didn't hurt myself. I wore shoes that made me bleed to Warp Tour once,
God.
and I went to the first aid. Place, and that worked.
It's like, I'm shocked they didn't just spit on it and be like, you're fine.
Rub some dirt on it.
They gave me a Band-Aid and they're like, all right, you're good. Thanks. Although I did not go to the first aid kit at Warp Tour when somebody's tooth slammed into the back of my shoulder. Or somebody ripped out my chest piercing.
And literally, like, someone else in our group got the shit kicked out of them. I got like literally donkey kicked in the stomach at that show. Like it was crazy. It was good. That was a good one.
Oh,
so
man.
Before we close out this podcast, I found the message and it's even better.
We need to read it.
Bonus content.
We need it verbatim.
Got it. It's a long one.
Highlight the important parts.
Oh, it's all important. It's all Mushan.
Go for it.
That's the name of the dude. Probably shouldn't. Mushan. Like Mushu, but Mushan.
Wonderful.
Mushan, if you're listening.
Right.
Let us stay at your Airbnb.
I will stay there.
We're not Hitler, though. We're not Hitler.
To all our guests whose reservations got canceled by Airbnb for truly unbiased with no grab in reality ridiculous reasons, we truly apologize for the inconvenience that was not caused by us at all. Airbnb is accusing me with breaching their non-discrimination policy, and I can assure you 100% that these accusations have no grab in reality whatsoever. Our listings have always been open 24/7 for instant booking from anyone in the world, regardless of their gender, ethnicity, nationality, and so on. I myself am a Jew, and if Hitler is still alive, he could have booked my place and stayed in my condo. That would have been pre-cleaned and done for him like any other guest. We have always treated our guests with respect for as long as we got the same respect from them and never discriminated no one for no reason from our thousands of guests, and my super host status is to show for it.
You know, it makes me feel better that he's actually Jewish,
right?
And not because
just say
when
that.
you told it, you said if he said if I were Jewish, I would let Hitler stay with me.
That is
and
why
I
wanted to reiterate, because I knew I didn't hit it on the head, but yeah,
that's great. It makes it.
Oh, he did say in the end.
A million times better that he's actually Jewish.
He did say in the end, please do contact me in 2 months from now to check on your compensation from the Airbnb status.
We need to look him up and reach out and tell him that he's on this episode.
And be like,
and
you want to be...
see if he's on Airbnb.
We will come stay there if you want to be on the podcast.
Actually, don't plead for him, because what if like he was being a racist piece of shit or something? Like, we don't want to speak for that.
We'll find that out first. But like, if not, man, we'll come to your Airbnb and record a podcast.
Hells
there.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hells yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Wonderful.
Reach out, magicallyunstablepod@gmail.com.
Hell yeah. Shout out.
Alrighty, that's going to wrap up this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening to us have a therapy session and help you cope with things and talk about our YouTube video.
Yeah.
So let's what? So we will talk to you guys next week. Have a good weekend. Stay magical.
Always, forever.
Great, even though it's 2 days from the weekend. Whoop whoop. Oh wait, this is coming out on a Friday. Never mind. Redact my whoop whoop. Another one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.